Hello, Nasdaq followers, and welcome back to Trade Talks. I'm Leanne Alfaro, your host for this session. Joining me right now is Mike Baer, Associate Director of Capital Markets at WisdomTree. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So we are ready to kick off earnings season here. Tell us, what are some of the macro view on the markets?
Yeah, sure. So at WisdomTree, we believe that earnings may be coming down a bit. That we've seen a Fed pivot where they have decided to halt interest rate hikes, and it seems like they may even go for a cut. So we've seen a move towards risk assets. We'll have to see what happens with the earnings cycle here. But we remain cautious on the market, but still do believe that there is some upside. We tilt a little bit more towards quality, as we've seen some flows into our quality dividend growth suite. Just tending to be a little bit more cautious and staying with the more quality side of the market, both on the equity and the fixed income side.
And then looking into 2019 for the year, any particular areas that investors are focused on when it comes to ETFs? Yeah,
I mean, it's been a great start to the year. We saw about $50 billion in flows in the first quarter, which is a little bit less than we saw in the first quarter for 2018. A majority of that came into the fixed income space. In the first part of the quarter, we saw floating rates have a good amount of flows as the Fed was still hiking rates, or there was a belief that there was a hike in rates. But in the Fed pivot, we did see a move towards risk, which was a move towards investment grade and high yield credit. On the equity space, we did see the continued move towards cheap beta in large cap U.S. domestic and large cap EM. We also saw a move towards the quality space, like I was talking about, in the quality factors and also minimum volatility. For WisdomTree, we saw the exact same thing with flows into our floating rate treasury product and also into our quality dividend growth space as well.
And tell us about your thoughts about active versus passive management. We know that that's very alive and well.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on really what your view on the markets is, right? So, active, there is a space for active in certain segments of the market. I think there's been a tremendous shift towards the passive side and in the ETF wrapper. But as we've seen with the ETF wrapper, there is a move towards transparent active. And this week we even saw the approval of the Presidian model for the non-transparent active. So, I believe that there is a space for both passive and active. And I think we'll continue to see that shift in the ETF wrapper.
And tell us a little bit about your role in particular at WisdomTree.
Yeah, so in capital markets, our job is to manage the trading side of ETFs, right? They're exchange traded. You must trade to bring money in and out of the fund. So we manage all of the broker-dealer, liquidity provider, market maker relationships, the exchange relationships, and all the intermediaries that our clients are trading through. And then we educate our clients on liquidity, best execution practices, and understanding ETF structure.
Mm-hmm. And what else is on horizon in WisdomTree at the moment?
Yeah, from a product perspective?
From a product perspective?
Yeah, so I can't discuss specifics due to regulatory reasons, but we are really excited about the transparent active space and developing alpha-driven strategies around that transparent active space. I think for the industry as a whole and WisdomTree, we're really excited about wrapping fixed income different ways in the ETF structure, as well as liquid alternatives such as hedge fund replication strategies, and also doing some new and interesting things in the option space.
All right, Mike, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. And we look forward to reconnecting post-earnings season.
Thank you for having me.
Nasdaq followers, that has been Mike Baer, who's Associate Director of Capital Markets over at WisdomTree. Please stay tuned for more coverage right here from the Nasdaq Market site.